The late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Is the move up to 32,000, 33,000 possible? Are we gonna get there? Are we gonna get above that? There is a pattern that's very common in technical analysis, especially on Bitcoin right now. And we're gonna examine that, and we're gonna see that what's happening down here right now just might push us all the way up to 31, 32,000. And you know, after that we are gonna get rejected, right? And then we're gonna go more towards downside. So it might be some kind of you know, local move towards upside. I'm gonna explain why and how this actually gonna play out. As you all know, today is Sunday. Today is the weekly close. We are having 9 red weekly closes in a row. Let me show you up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red weekly closes in a row. And as everybody knows, you know, statistically speaking, you know, the longer this goes on, the bigger probability is to get some kind of move towards the upside. So this move towards the upside can definitely come very soon. I'm going to explain to you why. Now, before we start explaining the pattern, first thing you gotta know is this 20 moving average. Very important 20 moving average up here, been rejecting us for a very long time. Above the 20 moving average we are bullish, and below the 20 moving average we are bearish. So we are still in some kind of bearish territory over here, and we are trying to break this 20 moving average. But you can see right now that we are very close to breaking that towards the upside, and there's a really nice trend line up here. Let me show you up here, something like this, give or take, where we are right now trying to break this move towards the upside. Now, if this move towards the upside comes, we might be looking at some kind of level up here at 31,002, or even up here at something between 32,000 and 31. I think it's 31.7, give or take, up here. So you know, these three levels up here, between 31.3 and 32, we might just come all the way up there, then get rejected, and then continue towards the downside. I still don't believe in any kind of, you know, bigger move than that, and I'm gonna explain to you why. But what's happening down here is very interesting pattern, and it happens all the time on everywhere. So let's clean up everything, explain the pattern. The pattern goes something like this. You have initial big violent impulsive move towards downside, then you bounce right back up again, and then you continue flagging towards the downside down here. You continue flagging towards the downside, and this move over here is very special. So let me show you this on the daily time frame, sorry, on the 4-hour time frame, the flag, how the flag actually looks like. And it goes something like this up here, the resistance line at the top, and of course we got the bottom support line down here. You can see here this is some kind of flagging move towards the downside. So with an initial move towards the downside, we bounce right back again, and then you flag towards the downside and bounce back up. A lot of people would say that this is a bear flag. This is not a bear flag. We have been talking about this a lot of times. This is actually a very bullish flag. It's not a bear flag. I would say this looks more like a bull opposite, you know, inverse bull flag. So why is this inverse bull flag? Because this initial move was very bearish, and then you are having this, I would call this exhaustion period, where you are flagging towards downside because you are pushing price towards down, and then you eventually, you know, the selling exhaustion ends, and then you break towards the upside and get this relief move towards the upside. So we are looking more for this relief move towards the upside than actually break on the downside right now. But I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. This is of course very common. So this move happens always after initial move, then you have a rebound, and then you have the exhaustion flag towards downside. It goes someplace down, up, and then down, up, down, up, down, right? And this happens all the time. One of the most famous moves is here in the 2019. You'll see down here, initial move towards downside, a rebound, and then a flag towards downside. So it goes something like this, right? Down, up, flag down, and then slowly keep what, you know, after breaking the resistance up here, we are slowly climbing towards the upside here, and then once we broken the resistance up here as well, we continued, you know, pumping towards the upside. But oftentimes these things can get rejected around this area, and I'm going to show you why. But sometimes they do tend, you know, to push a lot further towards the upside. But this move down, up, down move is very common. It's some kind of indication of some kind of bottom. So this happens all the time on different time frames. Let's go to the daily time frame here. For example, over here you'll see that we had initial move, this on the 4th of December, initial move towards downside, a rebound, then flagging towards downside, and then we broke this resistance and continue up. But this move towards the upside only came up to, you know, to some kind of top up here to the resistance, got rejected, right back down again, and we failed, and we continued more towards the downside. So how this actually plays out? Do we do the move up here and then, like in 2018, just continue running right to 100k, or do we do the move like over here and then get rejected? You know, that's the question. I believe more in the rejection than actually the pump towards the upside. So this move towards the downside, up, down, and then once we break this resistance up here, once break, I'm thinking 32,000 rejection up here, and then more downward movement after that, if we break this for towards upside. But the move is this pattern, down up down pattern, is very common all over the chart. Let's try to find a couple of more places where it actually played out. Maybe over here where we went down, up. It was a little bit, you know, extended, but you know, down, up, down, maybe down, up, then down over here. And you can see here it was the top, then we broke some kind of trend up here, and when it climbed up here to the top, got rejected, and continued the move towards downside. Other places where this happened over here, maybe you can see initial move towards downside, then we had this rebound, and then we flagged towards downside to the bottom. Right, there was some kind of resistance line up here, or let me draw some kind of resistance line up here. We broke that and continued towards the upside, right? So this level of resistance up here wasn't actually holding, and we continued towards the upside. So this can definitely happen. So how this actually gonna play out, you know, exactly not quite sure, but what we do know that there is huge probability right now for this actually to break this resistance towards the upside and go at least to some kind of 32,000 level. So let me show you up here. The resistance line goes something like this up here as well, and then you got these moving averages as well up here, and you can see right here that we are coming to very close to breaking that towards the upside. Now we still believe in this 22, 23, not 30, 22, 23 to 25 level support and bottom, and this is still in play, and we don't have any kind of, you know, reason to believe that we are in any form, shape bullish right now. This, what is happening over here, is overextensions and exhaustion right now that actually might push us a little bit towards the upside before we get the move towards the downside. Because we saw over here, we broke the support on the downside. We broke the support on the downside down here. We didn't come right back up again, but we did climb back above the support. We did climb back above the support 2 days ago, yesterday, and right now we are going up to this, testing this resistance 10-20 moving average, and also this trend line resistance up here. So if we can manage to climb up above this 10 moving average, I would assume we are going to go at least up, you know, to the top up here, test 31.3 or something like that, before we decide what's going to happen. Now there is a good reason why this 31.3 top up here is very close to the resistance line. That's very important. I'm sorry about a lot of lines on the screen over here, but you can see this red area on the screen up here. That's between 31.7 and 32.2. That's what we are considering right now to be the most important resistance area on the chart. We are not looking at 35 or 36, anything crazy like that, only this level up here. And you can see that it's just barely above the 31.3 level up here. So if we do manage to break this this resistance up here, if this pattern does play out, this you know, impulsive move, rebound, then exhaustion phase, or you know, flagging towards the downside plays out towards the upside, I think we might look at some kind of 31.7, 32.2, maybe even break that a little bit towards the upside to get everybody faked out, and then turn around and then continue towards the downside. If this does happen, here's a very important thing to do. If you do get rejected up here and start going down and come back to this level again, this will be one of the most bearish indications, and you know, a certain move towards the downside is probably in the books. So if you do break this towards the upside, you can never ever come back to these levels again, because if you do that, you're definitely going down. You just don't do that. Like, it is the same, it's the same principle like we had up here. Is the same principle like we had up here. We were actually watching this on the 4 hour, was it 4 hourly chart or daily? No, it was daily time frame we were watching this at. So up here we were having we have been looking at some kind of bottom up here. It was very nice bullish move. We also saw everything what's happening here. We were expecting some kind of move towards downside down here and then bounce. Now the problem here is we broke the support, and we said once we went down here, we, you know, everything was fine. But when this move started to happen towards the upside, and it's the same kind of move, let me show you up here. It's the same kind of move. Let me just do it on another chart up here. It's the same kind of move that's happening right now. So this over here is a impulsive move towards downside, a rebound, then flagging towards downside. So, you know, down, up, down, move, some kind of bottom. Then we broke that, continued towards, and we got rejected right above the up here. You see, we tried several times to break that, got rejected, and as soon as we started going back down there, we said there is no reason to go back down here. If you get back down here, we are definitely going down more. It's kind of, you know, written in the books, and the same thing is happening here. if we do break towards the upside up here, if we do break towards the upside up here and got some kind of, you know, 31, 32 level up here, if we for whatever reason get rejected by here and start going on to back down to these levels down here, then, you know, the probability to break this towards downside increases by, you know, 10,000. So this is, so we can't under any circumstance get back down here. In case we break this, we can under no circumstance get back down to these levels down here, because that's going to be very, very bearish. Huge rejection on 31, 32. That's not gonna be good. That's not gonna be good. So if you see the move up here, you gotta be very careful, because this 31, 32,000 level is very, very important to break. If we break it as well, do not, you know, put your guards down, because this can technically, you know, get rejected anytime. But any kind of rejection anywhere up here could indicate, you know, move back down. And if this move down here comes, we are definitely going a lot lower than that. A lot lower than that. The reason this move is over here, of course, is very, you know, probable right now, is because of these nine red weekly candles towards downside. So we have huge overextensions up here. You also see on some kind of indicators down here that we got some kind of huge overextension. This is an overextensions indicator. These things do not come that often. They are very, very rare, these kind of overextensions. And every time this happens, we either go sideways or we you know, go a little bit up, correct that, and continue towards downside. So there is definitely a more, you know, up here a move to some kind of move towards the upside in the books, and then, you know, fall down later at some point, right? That said, guys, today is the 29th of May. Tomorrow is 30th of May, and we are gonna get the moons, guys. We are gonna get a dump moon. So this one, this red moon, these dump moons, they are gonna come over here on the 30th of May. And, you know, looking right now that we are at the very, very end of this this move. So this move is gonna, you know, play out in, you know, today, tomorrow, very, very soon. Like we said, this pattern up here is very common. It tends to break towards the upside, but if we do break it on the downside, if we get rejected by the resistance, then we have to look for more downside, guys. Immediate downside move. So this, it doesn't have to play out. It can play out. It can try to go up here, try to test some kind of, maybe even some kind of, you know, very fast spring towards the upside and right back down again. How fast this is gonna play out, I'm not quite sure. You know, like we said, huge probability for a breakout towards the upside. That does happen. We need to break this 31, 32 level. We need to break this 31 to 32 level. But the way I see it, you know, huge probability, you know, for either some kind of spring towards the upside and then, you know, push us back down, or just immediate rejection off of these levels, then back below the support down here, back below the support, and then we go into some kind of 22 to 23 to 25,000 support area down here. And you can see this on this chart over here. Let me just clean a couple of lines up here on the screen, because there are just way too many lines, you know, sometimes up here. Yeah, let's leave everything else. This area down here, this red area, that's what we are looking for. That's what we're looking for, some kind of bottom. Where, you know, we've been explaining this several times before, but, you know, where are we gonna come down there right over here on the rejection and just go down, or we're gonna try first some kind of move towards the upside up here, get rejected, and then go down? How this is gonna play out, we do not know. What the only thing we know, that the moons are playing out right now. We are getting a new red moon up here, so this move doesn't have, you know, immediately go towards downside, but it can go up first and then towards downside later. It's a very, very common pattern, up down, exhaustion pattern up here. Break that towards the upside, go up to the resistance, get rejected, get right down, back down again, and then have this big dump on the downside. This will also play out with these other two moons. We are having super moons down here on the June, July. So, you know, we still got 1 month left of this this pattern playing out. And then once we get on the bottom side down here, maybe, just maybe, we can create some kind of play up here where we have you know, accumulation phase on the downside, and then, you know, later on, you know, for the next 2 years we just pump towards the upside. But quick video, I don't know how quick this was, 14 minutes so far. You gotta understand right now that that this move towards downside is right now when something is exhausted, exhausted move. It just tried, push down, cannot, and it goes up here and then breaks up here, try go up, and everybody who's bullish, goes up, but there is not enough bullishness, and people start shorting from here. So I think a lot of shorts will start getting in here at the top, and then the push down towards the final 22 to 25 level might actually come. So that's what I'm looking for. I think move towards the upside, again, it's more probable than move towards the downside. Now the reason why we are not actually at the bottom yet, we can take that in another video. It's not very important right now. This pattern is playing out right now, and right now it's coming to the very end of the pattern. It's the most pattern right now. Again, guys, thanks for watching. There will be live stream tonight, maybe Bitcoin Daily, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Central European Time. Check that out, and we'll see how this actually plays out. By the way, guys, again, we are very close to the bottom, so very, very soon we might start buying again. Thanks and take care. Bye bye.